And now to Surfside Beach and ongoing concerns about erosion and a collapsing community.
Hurricane Ike washed 10 homes into the Gulf last year, and now Tropical Storm Ida, though hundreds of miles away, is being blamed for washing another home into the Gulf this week.
The situation has residents, as you can imagine, very nervous, especially the ones who live on the beachfront in Surfside. 11 News reporter Alex Sands spent the day there and learned there's no quick fix to a problem decades in the making.
A short distance from her front door, Pat Benson remembers a different era. A different beach.
Well, on 73, you could park 3 semis going out to the water, front to back, not side to side.
She wasn't surprised that 14 months after Hurricane Ike, the Gulf has claimed another beachfront home. Blame Hurricane Ida's tidal surge and ongoing erosion. Heavy surface weakened the home's pilings. What's left is littered in front of Benson's house on Beach Road.
I'm 72 years old, and I would hope that something's going to be done to where I can have this home until I die.
Erosion has long been a problem, but not like this.
Well, like what the guy said in the news report, it's decades in the making, because we are left with the signs that in the early parts of when they were developing the island itself here, they did just about anything they wanted to, because there were no strict codes saying that they could not. So all the what they called riprap that they would throw in to stabilize the house where they were, the lot where the house was built, was basically anything from the tires we find to the old pieces of brick to asphalt to whatever, because no one told them that they could not. So now we're left, as the beach does erode, with the signs of 2 extra rows of houses in front of what we have here. So that we're having to deal with what's out there now, what's coming to light now because of the recent activity.
After the high tide, we kind of like cascaded down, so it doesn't seem to be, you can make it down in a lot of places just from peaks. You're walking on the edges of rocks.
Yeah. Making our walk a little longer.
Yeah. Yes, it's definitely more challenging. And considering you're carrying a board over it.
3 months ago, you could walk on this same stretch of beach. It's a comparison that illustrates the urgency, and what those who live here say is an immediate need for action.
The amount of sand at the beach over the last 5 years has just been, the damage has been incredible.
There's a lot of bacteria and organisms of different types that will infect you tremendously, and if you get a penetrating wound like that, you better go straight to the doctor immediately.
Right. There's no reason to live in a place that you call your home break and not surf there as much as you can. Whether it be, as I said, us knowing the place, it breeds familiarity. I'm less likely probably to hurt myself. You are less likely to hurt yourself because you know where everything is. It's those people that come in here from the outside that are the tourists that I worry about, because where you and I know where to fall flat, they have no clue and just step off their board onto the rebar out of an old septic tank.
I think what's made it so bad is when the water came up and it was hitting the rocks. Instead of, it's not like hitting sand, it's hitting the rock. It hits rocks, it makes a back wave, and it sucks out sand and it starts digging.
Plans to bring more sand to Surfside Beach have long been on hold, in part because the owner of the home that collapsed sued the state to keep the house there. Now, people who live here worry the Gulf may have undermined Beach Road, putting the road and more homes in danger.
That's a possibility that the water went through the revetment and did that, because it was, the waves were hitting it for so long.
What nature has turned it into in the last 2 weeks is a jetty. because people are treating it like a jetty. If you go out there now, well, of course we're surfing out there anyway, but there's people bringing their tackle boxes, and we like, you know, fishermen, but what they're treating it as is a jetty, because that's basically it, because it just goes straight down. You've got nothing, no beach.
The Texas General Land Office, which says the problem is now an emergency, is searching for a temporary fix. Pat Benson wants something done fast.
I mean, we've lost a tremendous amount, and just in the last month, we've lost 2 foot.
I've taken plenty of skin off on that stuff out there. I kicked it on, it broke my toes for a while there. I could barely walk, and oh boy, I see people every time they're surf, somebody gets messed up bad.
What exactly makes every other piece of beach along our Texas coast more important than this one? What exactly kept them from doing what the government generally does, and that's bully people?
You walked into that?
Yeah.
Joining us now, Congressman Ron Paul. This is your district. You live close to this area. A lot of people maybe that don't have as much insurance as they possibly need, or you know, cash on hand, are probably wondering, will there be money here to help them out?
Well, that's always the first question. But those people who do pay insurance are insured by the federal government through FEMA, and that will be available. So those individuals who have any trouble, they will be, and they're encouraged to call my office because we can help them out. But yes, there will be a lot of needs, but general needs will be met when these appropriations are there, and we will work and do our best to help the people.
Totally as dangerous as it could possibly be, and just bad news in general. I mean, it's dangerous, and there's, you know, you can get massively infected because of a cut from the stuff or a scrape or anything.
You know, one of the big differences from Galveston and here, you're both very vulnerable. You're sitting on the coast. They, of course, have the seawall. You guys spent a lot of money to shore up the coastline with, you know, some sort of barrier here. Is there ever going to be plans to put a seawall up in Surfside?
Right now, it's not on the agenda. This one was barely finished. I think it really helped. I'm not the engineer, but I think it helped. It was just barely finished with the help of some federal money. So in time, maybe with improvement, but I can't quite foresee a seawall in Surfside exactly like they have in Galveston.
What will be the you know, the fate of this town even in a couple of weeks?
Well, we're planning on not having one very soon.